As we get ready to start solving quadratics, it will be important to be able to simplify values that you get into the proper complex number format, which is a plus bi. So I've chosen examples specifically that might look like what you would get if you were solving using the quadratic formula, which we'll cover in just a little bit. So when I simplify, I want to be able to simplify into an a plus bi form, which means I don't want it written all over a number like this is. I want to break it down into two separate parts. And since you're in my MA 102 class, Alex, the program that we use in that class, will ask you to write it in this format as well. So it's important to understand how to do it. So the first thing I would do is rewrite this as 8 over 6 minus negative radical 24 over 6. I'm just going to break it down into two parts. And then I'm just going to simplify each part as much as I can. So on the first fraction, which is the real number section, something that doesn't have an I would just have 8 over 6, which reduces to 4 over 3. Keep my minus sign. Then I have radical 24, and I'm just going to do that the same way I did before. I'm going to say, well, this is negative 1. And then 24, if I'm looking for a perfect square, I know is 4 times 6. And so the square root of 4 is 2, the square root of negative 1 is I, the square root of 6 I can't reduce. So this is 2I radical 6 over 6. And I'm still not done because I want it simplified all of the way. And as I notice, I've got a 2 and a 6. I cannot reduce the 6 inside the radical. It has to be outside. But the 2 and the 6 will reduce. So I have 4/3 minus, and then the 2 reduces to 1, and the 6 reduces to 3. So I just have I radical 6 over 3. And that would be my final solution. Let's do the same for the next one. Again, I'm just breaking it down. 6 over 3 plus 5i over 3, and then reducing. 6 over 3 is 2. 5 over 3i. I actually would keep the I on the outside. I guess so technically this one should be 4/3 minus radical 6 over 3i would be more precise because the I should be on the outside. So here's one for you to try. Good practice before we start getting to actually using this in the quadratic formula. So press pause, try it on your own, press play to see how you did. Okay, so looking at 6 over 3 minus radical negative 27 over 3. 6 over 3 reduces rather easily. Negative radical 27 would be negative 1 times 9 times 3. I chose 9 because it's a perfect square. So I end up with 3i radical 3 over 3. We can obviously see that these 3's on the outside only will cancel. And so I get 2 minus I radical 3 because my denominator went away completely.